Let's talk about these. What's up, guys? We had a good weekend. It's Monday again, so I thought I'd do a little video today talking about these family vloggers. So I've seen about the sullivans, and they're gonna be homeschooling their kids. Apparently, their kids are having some trouble at school. Maybe the vlogging has something to do with that. Probably does. I mean, you think about it, right? You look at the Inhams. And obviously Isabel was taken out of school because she was being bullied at school. Now, obviously Chris and Sarah never admitted this, but I think we all know the whole reason, the real reason Isabel was being bullied at school was obviously because of the whole, like, because she was in the vlogs and everything, and obviously there was probably kids at school who watched the vlogs, and I think it also had, and I think that, you know, what Chris did might have also had something to do with it as well. Because I think that was around the same time that the allegations had come out about, you know, the allegations were made against Chris, that she was being bullied. So it's not hard to imagine that Isabel was getting a hard time, was having a hard time, was being bullied at school, or, you know, by people because of what her dad had done. And people had obviously heard about that and were giving her a hard time because of that, you know, which is why I think it's a good, you know, it's a fair point to say that the Sullivan kids have probably been getting a little bit of aggro because of the vlog, you know, because of the vlogging and everything. You know, I don't think it's completely, you know, unfair for someone to think that maybe the vlogging has something to do with why kids are having issues at school, because, you know, it's probably a good shout on that one, from the people that have been saying that the vlogging probably does have something to do with it. You know what makes me laugh with the Sullivans now? I mean, obviously, I used to defend them like a hole in the head. Obviously, until a few months ago when they claimed, obviously, that I'd been sending threats towards them, obviously, that they obviously, which wasn't true. And they lied, saying that they hadn't claimed that, which it was obvious that they had done. Obviously, you know, that was, you know, I learnt my lesson about defending them, you know, and I've not defended them for ages now, you know. You know what makes me laugh with Ben and Zoe? You know, they're the definition of two people who can't take any sort of criticism. You know, that seems to be one of their kind of weaker points in that respect, is they cannot take any sort of substantial criticism. Like, I've seen them deleting comments that weren't even that negative, to be fair. You know, I've seen a lot of people posting comments on their vlogs that probably weren't meant in a negative way, but those comments were deleted because obviously Ben and Zoe saw that comment as being a negative comment when it wasn't meant like that. And I think this is something that they have gotten a lot of criticism for, is fucking dog killer. Lele! No! Him! What's that? It's alright, the dog's just going nutty at the postman again. She does that a lot. I don't know why, but that's what dogs are like for you. Ouch. Just hurt me over. I mean, this is the thing, as I said, this is something that obviously Ben and Zoe have gotten a lot of criticism for, is, you know, deleting comments that weren't genuinely that negative, to be honest. You know, it's like, it's like, I don't, don't want to delete negative comments, fair enough, but deleting comments that weren't even that negative, don't, no, but this is the sad thing about it, is the fact that Ben and Zoe have deleted a lot of comments from people who were actually just showing kind of genuine concern and weren't trying to be negative towards them in any particular way. But obviously, that's what family vloggers are like. They will delete comments even if the comments are not that negative. They just can't stand criticism. If anyone, it's so wrong for people to criticize them or criticize what they do. It's like they really have, a massive problem with people, criticizing them and criticizing what they do. That they're so dead against that. They're so dead against people. They can't stand that. They can't stand the fact that some people do have a negative opinion on what they do, and don't really like what they do. It's like, I've said this many times. If they don't like criticism, or they don't like negative comments, or they don't like people they don't like having to deal with that sort of thing, then maybe, just maybe, they shouldn't be putting their kids all over the internet. Because that is a big part of the reason why they get a lot of criticism, because they shouldn't really be putting their kids all over the internet. I mean, it's something I've said many times. Like, the problem with a lot of these family vloggers is they seem to think that it's perfectly safe to be putting their kids all over the internet. They seem to think there's not, they don't seem to think that there's any reason why that would not be safe. But at the end of the day, it's like, they don't know who's watching their kids on the internet. It's not like they can say, oh, well, there's no creeps or child predators watching our kids on the internet, because they don't know that. This is the point I actually made on Instagram yesterday. They obviously, I put that, they put a post up on Instagram, and I actually posted a few comments on their Instagram, and I said, you know what, I'm shocked. That the fact that Ben and Zoe are so comfortable putting their kids out there on the internet, when there could be all sorts of groups watching it. Kids on the internet, and it's like, and I that's what I said must have kind of rubbed them up the wrong way a little bit. As I said that, what I basically said was that I get the vibe that Ben and Zoe wouldn't really have a problem, even if they did know that there were actually creeps watching it is on the internet. I don't really have a problem with that. At the end of the day, the point I was trying to make is that it's not really that safe to be putting kids out there on the internet. I know that a lot of these parents think that it is perfectly safe for them to be doing that, and there's no reason to think it isn't. But I think we all know that it's not really safe to for these parents to be putting their kids out there on the internet. And people shouldn't be had a go at for saying it's not safe for them to be doing that. Because people are totally right to be coming on and saying that it's not safe for them to be putting their kids on the internet, because I think we all know it is. And that's basically the point that a lot of people are trying to make, is that it's not in any way safe for them to be putting their kids on the internet, and it never will be. It's really mad. It's just mad. There's nothing right about what these family vloggers do and on how they're making their money. Because they're basically using it as content to make money. And how can people not see that? You'd have to be blind and stupid to not be able to see that. you know, it's like, how can people defend Ben and Zoe when they've actually, on various different occasions, they have deleted comments from people who were just showing genuine concern. You know, how can you defend people who delete comments that are not even that negative? They obviously cannot handle, any sort of criticism. Yeah, and I think we all know that with regards to the whole homeschooling thing, like, I don't have a problem with parents homeschooling their kids, if their kids are actually benefiting from that. But with the Sullivans, it feels like, with people like the Sullivans and the Inhams, it feels like the kids are not really benefiting in any way from being homeschooled. It feels like the only people that are actually benefiting in any way from his being homeschooled are the parents, it's obviously at the end of the day that his being home more, it means that the parents ultimately have more content to film, and I think, it's not completely unfair to say that. That's basically what it means. It means that his being at home more means that there's more content for them to film. Because let's face it, when the kids are at school 5 days a week, they've got sod all to film. I mean, I think, obviously, it's just ridiculous. I don't know what to say, to be honest. But I think it's not hard to see that people like Ben and Zoe probably shouldn't be doing probably shouldn't be doing YouTube, because they cannot handle criticism. It's like the Inhams, right? It's like the Inhams are constantly sharing stuff online, right? And then when they start getting called out for it, they start attacking people. For God's sake, why do they have to keep doing it? Shut up! Shut up! You haven't done that long! Lady! Enough! 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 Ruby! Ruby! Enough! Enough! Ruby! Enough! Enough! Now, enough! There's no need for any of this. She's not been done that long. Enough! Now, enough! Oh, lordy. I'm sorry to lose my rad like that, but I had to tell the dots to shut up, because there's no need for this. There's no need for them to be going mad like that every time. It's ridiculous. So as I was saying, it's very clear to see that the Sullivans can't stand any sort of, substantial criticism or anything like that. They're kind of, it's like, this is the argument I've made many times. People shouldn't be doing social media if they can't stand it, if they can't actually handle criticism. Which is the problem that a lot of these family vloggers have, is they can't, they're so happy to put their kids out there on the internet and share so much of their kids' lives and share and all that, but they don't like it. They can't handle the criticism they get from that, and it's like they can't handle criticism. Enough! There's no need for this. Enough! Riley! Enough! Ruby! Ruby! Enough! 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 You haven't been gone that long. I've been gone about what, in an hour or so.
Oi! I couldn't take tonsils.
Not
I
bad.
do.
Not a bad idea. Oh, you haven't been gone that long.
I know, they've been gone an hour, not even that.
Oh,
Oh,
you've been to shopping?
yeah. I went to the surgery, collected the letter, get that sorted.
No, that's, you've done that then, if that walk.
No, I'm not going now.
Why?
The lady's not well, she's got a tummy bug.
Oh dear.
So, oh. I went and got shopping and I
Mm.
went and got your letter.
But as I say, I mean, it's just madness, isn't it? You know, that these family vloggers should not be doing YouTube if they cannot stand for it. Simple as that. So, I hope you enjoyed that video, despite my noisy interruptions. I'll see you for another video soon. Bye bye.